In today's collection showcase, I take a look at the Lord of the Rings 1/6 scale Frodo Baggins. To the best of my knowledge, there has only ever been 5 figures made in this scale of this character, from companies like Sideshow, DID, Toy Biz, and of course 2 versions from Asmus. This version of Frodo was made by Asmus Collectibles and was first released in 2018. The original retail price was $200 USD, the figure's height is approximately 21 centimeters tall and boasts over 26 points of articulation. From tip to slightly hairy toe, this figure sports a range of clothing layers with fine details, buttons and accessories, giving quite a few options for display, including the One Ring and die-cast versions of the famous blade Sting. Looking at the head sculpt, we can see the likeness is a very good approximation of Elijah Wood as Frodo, down to his pale complexion and clearly showing a great attention to detail with facial details and even microscopic eyelashes. The hair is the standard Asmus sculpted hobbit hair, but a nice little nuance is the way it covers the ears, reminiscent of how it looks in the movies. Standing next to Samwise and Gandalf, you can see Frodo is slightly shorter than Sam, which is an accurate height difference from the movies, and standing next to Gandalf, you can get a good gauge of how much smaller hobbits are in comparison to standard sized 1/6 scale figures. Coming in a little closer, you can see his feet are dirtied up in mud and weathering. The die-cast Sting has a plastic sheath tucked under the jacket, which is attached to a nice leather effect belt with metal accents around the waist. The One Ring is perfectly to scale and carried on Frodo's neck with a real metal chain, which is a really nice touch. The iconic cloak on my figure has stitching on the edges, but more recent revisions of Frodo seem to be lacking this detail, despite the cloaks otherwise being almost identical. Looking at the figure as a whole, we can see that the amazingly well-made clothes are adorned with tiny detailed buttons and very fine stitching. The overall level of detail in the clothing and accessories, coupled with the great head sculpt, really just bring this figure to life. For Lord of the Rings collectors, cloaks are an important part of the display. The very first version of Frodo came with the Fellowship cloak. I display my Frodo with the cloak from the version 1 figure, and I wanted to show you how the Fellowship cloak looks on this newer Frodo. Asmus is known for their die-cast weapons, and this is no exception. The famous Sting sword is fully die-cast and highly detailed with elven designs along the handle and the blade. Interestingly though, the first version of Frodo that came as a 2-pack with Sam came with plastic swords. Additional accessories include 5 other hands, 2 spare wrist pegs, the Star of Erendil, and Frodo's backpack. I've replaced this blade hand with one that has a ring on it from the previous version of Frodo to show you how that looks. The backpack can vary. Most newer versions of Frodo have rounded toggles, but the older ones have these black oval toggles. That was Frodo Baggins by Asmus Collectibles. If you enjoyed this video, even if you don't like the figure, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know if this figure is something you would like in your collection in the comments below. Thanks for watching.